Welcome everyone to today's video. We're the Dimitrov-Boulay piano duo. My name is Dimitri Dimitrov.
And my name is Elvira Boulay.
And today we thought we'd talk to you about how to motivate yourself to practice, especially in the times when you don't feel like. I think that in any profession or in any hobby, you will have moments when you feel like doing your work or practicing your hobby and not doing your work and not practicing your hobby. I think that that's something very natural. It happens to us as professionals, and we see it happening to people who just play piano for fun. We have moments with Elvira when we are in a period when we feel constantly like working and practicing, going behind the piano and getting our hours of practice, but we also have constantly, it happens all the time, that we have moments where we really don't feel like going behind the piano. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you feel like or not, if you want to progress. If I have to mention something very clear as an example when you don't feel like going and practicing, it would be when things start getting more difficult. Usually when you start a new hobby, like playing piano, it can be any other instrument of course, in the beginning you really feel like going and practicing, you're full of enthusiasm. But like I said, the moment things start getting difficult and you start getting some challenges that you have to overcome obstacles on the way, you start feeling like practicing less and less. There can be, of course, many other reasons why you wouldn't feel like practicing and being consistent with your piano playing, but we're not going to get into that because we want to actually tell you and help you how you can actually motivate yourself and make yourself feel like practicing more. And remember that not feeling like practicing or doing whatever it is you thought you were fond of doesn't mean that that thing isn't for you. If today you feel like not practicing at all, it's like the last thing that you would like to do, that doesn't mean that you don't like piano playing anymore. Because if you follow that logic, you would play 100 different instruments and you wouldn't learn any of them.
In other words, not feeling like practicing sometimes is just part of the process. It's everybody has it and it's no big deal. You just kick your butt behind the piano and you're all set. But today we wanted to talk not about discipline. Discipline is something you need. Let's be very clear on that. And we actually made a whole video about it. So if you haven't seen it yet, I would advise you go check it out. But discipline aside, today we want to exactly talk about how do we get in the mood? How do you go from not feeling like practicing instantly, just with this really easy process we're going to talk about, how do you get to feeling like practicing?
Okay, so it's really simple. Today, you hate the idea of practicing. What you have to do is this. You have to simply ask yourself two different questions. And each question, you have to give a minimum of 3 answers. Of course, if you're a little bit more stubborn and you give a little bit more answers than 3, you're going to make yourself feel more like practicing. So the minimum we would say is 2 questions and minimum of 3 answers each question. If you want to make this even more powerful, if you're really determined to make yourself feel like practicing, you can also write these answers down. You can write the questions and you can write all the answers down because you can say them out loud or you can think them. I would think that saying them out loud and writing them down helps the most because you put these answers into actually some kind of movement. You give them some more meaning than just thinking them.
I think also maybe having a conversation with somebody, like doing the questions together, would also have a very strong effect.
That's actually a very good idea.
Okay, so our first question is, what do you like most about the piano?
Shall I go first with my 3 answers?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so one of the things I like most about the piano is, first, it's really a cool instrument. I mean, it's nice sitting behind it. I would say maybe that would be my answer number 1. My answer number 2 would be the possibilities that the piano has. What you can do with the piano, all these. First of all, the sound is very beautiful. And all these harmonies you can do, all these different notes you can combine, all the colors you can create on the piano. And my third answer, because we have to give 3 minimum, is the incredible variety of pieces we can play.
You stole all my answers.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure you can come up with 3 more. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I love the pieces. That's definitely one for sure. I love how many, actually this is one of my favorites. I love how many styles you can do on the piano. Every single style of music sounds amazing on the piano. And I think that's just, it's so versatile. And
Rap doesn't.
I'm sure you
can't
can
rap on the piano.
Okay, everything but rap you can do on the piano really convincingly.
Who knows? I think also if you do some cool chords and you start rapping, that
It
would
will
also be.
It will sound pretty cool. Yeah, so that's definitely one. And maybe it's a little bit similar, but maybe how versatile the piano is. You know, when you're playing a melodic instrument, like for example violin, you have to have an accompaniment. But with piano, you can do everything. You can be the accompanist.
Yeah,
you
that's
can also just play your own pieces. It sounds perfect. It sounds finished. It doesn't need anything more. So that's already two.
What about the pedal?
Yeah, the pedal is something very unique as well, because you can hold all these chords and you can the sound resonates. You can play chords. Also, we haven't mentioned that. You can play chords. No other instrument can play chords.
And with the pedal, you can sustain the sound for a long time.
Amazing. I want to stop the video and just jump behind the piano.
Yeah, but actually that helps when you think about those things. And you can think of more things. I mean, we're just improvising now on the spot with some things that we like that just pop up immediately. You can think and give us in the comments below. You can mention some things that you like about piano, but it makes you love the instrument and feel like practicing. So that would be, I guess, our first question.
Yeah.
What's the second question?
So the second question would be, what do you like about your practice?
Yeah, maybe that would be a little harder to answer.
Sometimes, maybe.
But if you actually made yourself feel better with what do you like about the piano, maybe you would be able to answer easier this question.
Yeah, I think it's a nice order always to start with a little bit easier question so you get into the flow, and then a little bit tougher question. But still, I'll start this time, otherwise you'll steal all my answers.
Sure.
Okay, so I love how I feel after my practice, because I feel proud that I did something. I feel like I accomplished something, and I feel, second of all, I feel like my skills are improving. I really love the feeling of feeling more and more skilled. And I think actually my last answer would be, I like a little bit the challenge. So I like that you have to conquer something, because it feels even more satisfying after a little bit of work. So, you know, for example, at the moment I'm practicing this passage, this ornament in Saint-Saëns. If you've seen our video last week, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm practicing this ornament, and it was very, very hard for me in the beginning of the week. And now it's actually going really quite smoothly. And, you know, that's a really fun process, I think, because if there was no work involved, if there was no practice involved, that wouldn't be as satisfying.
Nice. I think you kind of also stole my thunder. I think what to me is very important, and what I tell our students a lot is, and what's satisfying about practice is, first of all, knowing how to practice. If you have a good teacher, and that teacher actually not only, like, first of all, he knows what a good teacher is, he knows or she knows what they're talking about, and when you apply those things, you see results. Knowing how to practice, knowing how to practice is really special, because you know that what you do works. And so for me, when I ask myself, what do I like about my practice? I like that my practice gives results. It's really wonderful to know that when you do something, you progress, you get results, right? So that's the first answer for me. Maybe I would answer this even 3 times. It's so special. The second thing about what I like about practice is that usually when I don't feel like, in the beginning, if I push myself, I can answer in the way that if I go and I start practicing after 5 to 10 minutes, I start feeling like it's with many things is like that. The appetite comes with eating, right? You just go behind the piano, you hear how beautiful the piano is, you really experience these beautiful pieces you're playing, and you start feeling like. And the third answer is, I think you answered something similar, that I like the feeling of getting it done.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of accomplishing something. And that's with many things. It's not just with practicing piano, it's the commitment, saying that I want to learn this instrument, or I want to be good at playing this instrument. and it's the commitment. I will feel proud and I'll feel happy that I did my practice. And so, oh, by the way, also I can give another answer. What I like about practice is not only knowing how to practice, but knowing how much time you can practice. And if you divide your practice into chunks, hey, that's maybe for another video. I'm giving a big secret here, but if I know that I have to practice just 15 minutes, it would be easier for me and I would enjoy the short amount of time that I have to practice, and then later in the day I can do more of that. So that those would be my answers. And what I'd say at the end of this video is, at the end of the day, to me, and I think also to Elvira, she feels the same way, I'm sure, it's the mental responsibility, how you go into something. First of all, being committed to something, when you start something, that you don't stop it, right? That you're committed, that you do it consistently. That's the way to go with anything that you do. You can't get any results if you're not consistent. And the second thing is your mental attitude towards everything. Going for example, your job, if you, let's say that you don't feel always like going to work, if you're not super happy with your job or anything, even if you love your job, you have moments that you don't feel like it. And so it's a mental responsibility to how do you prepare yourself for that? Do you go with bad feelings, or do you just prepare yourself in a more positive way that you're happy about certain things about your job? The same is with playing piano, playing an instrument. I can promise you that there is no person that, we hear this very often actually, that once you find your passion or the instrument that fits you the most, you will always feel like practicing. That's not true. We have days that we just don't feel like, because we really love this instrument. So how come we don't feel like practicing? And I know many other people. So that's why I said it's the person you become. You have to think about that. The responsibility, being committed, understanding that you have to be consistent and doing it over and over again, and with a positive attitude. Those would be my thoughts at the end of this video. That's what it makes me think about this subject.
I think so, yeah. We just started the school year again. We just started the piano lessons, and after the summer of not practicing, now everybody's starting up again. And I think that this is a question on a lot of people's minds. Where's the line between enjoying the piano playing and pushing yourself at the same time? And I think this is just a very interesting topic. You'll probably see more of this.
And if you have children that are practicing piano, you have to be the one who teaches them that. They wouldn't know that themselves. It's nice to remind them that consistency, they have to learn consistency, being committed to something.
Yes, and I also think these questions are a way of actually seeing, is it really not feeling like, or do you just hate piano? Because obviously if you can't give an answer to the question, what do you love about piano playing, then that's a different story. But if you come up with 10 answers, it's just that you don't feel like it. You have to go behind the piano and the enjoyment will come.
And remember, if you don't do that, you will be jumping from instrument to instrument and never learn to play any. It's not about piano, you can play any instrument. So yeah, that would be from us. Let's stop here because
we can talk for hours.
We can talk for hours. We'll make another video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You help us greatly this way. Visit our Instagram. We try to upload there as well. And something else? No, right?
Go and practice.
Go and practice. Be consistent with a good attitude. You're going to get good results. See you next time.